Hello and welcome to the dungeons. Dayman here. Today we're going to be talking about our side sword, or the mythical sword. A beautiful silver blade that has amongst the longest reach of our sword models. Though its design is a little simple, a good sword should be simple, as it is a simple weapon. Now, I'm standing next to this Guardian because I find that my Live tablet seems to work a little better next to it. I don't know why, but maybe there's something to it. So, let's talk a little bit about this sword, shall we? This thing is a pretty fun tool, and it offers an interesting challenge. When it is in its charged state, you can send multiple blasts, I believe maybe up to 7 based off of your swiping speed, but that's just the trick of it. It's based off of your swiping speed. Now, one thing I've found with practicing with this thing is I don't want to be using a big swipe. Instead, I want to be using my wrist flick. More here, less here. Your joints is gonna be thanking you for it. I know without my all my muscles on me just yet, I find it could be pretty aching on my bones. So, if we look here, you're going to say, Dayman, I thought you said this sword was good. Now, this is the weapon with the most edge cases for honorable mentions. However, what you'll see here is I'm actually demonstrating that it's good against all enemy types at all ranges, whether they be walking, ranged, or flying. And this is a beautiful weapon against a Doomer, as it allows you to keep range whenever he does his swiping attacks, as well as move in for high DPS. So, the side sword is one of those weapons that I recommend utilizing with a secondary weapon. Something like a dagger, so that you get little less collision, say with something like an axe, offering you ranged whenever you're in your not in your charge period, or using a shield, which I don't have on my person. And those are ways that you're going to get the most out of your side sword. Into our honorable mentions. You're going to notice here that I don't have the Skeletal Boss, the Ubermage, and Octolockalicus, legally distinct beholder, as it were. And I'm certainly not going to be trying to fight another wasp and get defiled just for your entertainment today. I also find that flying-type enemies such as the Lost Soul and Tiny Wasp, despite the auto-targeting, doing quite well to keep them at bay. It's something that relies on the charge period, not just on the all-around weapon. So, let's get active and start demonstrating the best practices with this weapon. I did mention you want to protect your joints. The auto-targeting is very strong. However, that strength can be somewhat dissipated when you're dealing with dodging enemies. I find that you are not necessarily relegated to it, but it does help to use this as a knockdown tool more so than a killing tool. That is the charge period. Another thing of note is I have found that this thing can be quite pesky when dealing with dungeon raids with your friends. As if you are not properly sandwiching an enemy, meaning that each of you are on either side, your own allies can end up disrupting your strikes, and that feels really bad. That's one thing I love about this weapon, is while they're flying up from those explosions in close melee, you can follow up with very decent strikes. I'm going to throw us in the third person now so we can see a little bit more of the fight. I like to keep my side sword on my left hip, just feels more natural to me. And you can see that knockdown tool is really good at range, allowing you to move in. Oh my goodness, no! Now you see, I don't have my charge period, And that's kind of what I was talking about. Haste is helping me a lot right now. So, I've mentioned before, yeah, this is why they did not make it onto the list for any kind of decent encounter. I'm gonna die if this thing touches me, so I'm kinda scared. I'm a little scared up. I'm a little scaredy boy. No! I hope you're laughing. So, that does demonstrate what I was talking about in terms of what makes those exploding type enemies quite difficult. You're reliant on a charge period, and the auto-targeting is not very good against high dodging enemies. Ugh. Also, my Live tablet, talk about a forsaken planet in terms of technology. It also can make it very difficult for me to get many swipes against my target. And to describe what I mean, the kind of smoothing factor, or the, I don't know, the energy that's being consumed by the planet makes it really difficult for the weapon to be read properly. You're kidding me. You'll forgive me. And again, this being a semi-decent damage with good enough range, you're going to do pretty well against the Doomer. You can also move in at range, but I don't recommend doing it when he's slamming, like you just saw. I'll be honest, guys. It's been really hard getting any decent sleep here at the outpost. I miss my bed. I've been off my game. Well, I've been grinding souls for these weapons in the dungeons late at night, just trying to find some way to restore my humanity. Maybe you guys have to learn a little bit more information. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot to teach with these weapons, beyond making sure that you're sandwiching your enemies with your allies instead of standing behind your allies, and that you use your wrist more so than your arm to protect your elbow, and stay away from bombs, baby. Well, until next time, wash your face and disinfect that face mask, baby.